Season 2, Episode 3 of Arknights. Touin Kiro, Perish in Frost, Fuyukomori. Will I ever get tired of repeating myself? Exhausting precious seconds of intro discussion or outro moments on repeating various epithets for Season 2? No, not very likely. Because, I'll be honest, all of them are very entertaining to repeat. To say no less. Now, before anything else, I will preface, I do not feel 100%. I wish I could record when I am in tip-top shape, but as this is a weekly series and the clock's ticking, I must move forward. I must soldier on. I don't feel exactly terrible, I just don't feel entirely normal. So the vibe, the energy might be slightly off, and for that I do apologize. I don't want to come down with a cold, with an illness, or anything like that. 'Tis the season, though, with the temperature constantly yo-yoing between warm and cold, hot and freezing. It does fuck with your immune system. But it is what it is. Lungmen is in danger. Y'all, it was borderline cruel to end last time with that statement. Change of plans. We will not be rendezvousing. The reunion's two-front war operations underway. Tallulah, the tyrant, is on the move. Mephisto is in Lungmen. Faust is on a separate mission. Rhodes Island and LGD have been taken away from Lungmen. The defenses are non-existent. The main fighting forces aren't around. So Lungmen is for the reunion's taking right now. It is their golden opportunity. And it is, admittedly, a very smart strategy. No one saw it coming. It was very obvious that the abandoned city was a trap, but I don't think anyone could have saw all of this occurring. How will the situation get worse? How will it spiral? Because we're going to go from bad to worse to even worse to how do we recover from this? And I don't know if we'll end on a happy note. I don't know if Lungmen will survive. This economic powerhouse of Yan may truly fall. And will we finally get an explanation on Tallulah's history with Lungmen? Or why Chief Wei and Chen know Tallulah? I would love nothing more, y'all. How will the fights go down in Lungmen? Especially with Chen, Hoshiguma, and the LGD moving forward to intercept them. To stop the attack. Because it's on fire. It's under siege. We have a lot of reunion commanders around. So who's going to fight who? Will Calcit get involved with defending Lungmen? Or will she go to Amiya's aid? Because right now, Rhodes Island is stranded. They have no backup coming whatsoever in this abandoned city. And Frost Nova is currently hunting them. While we may have had a misstep, she may have hit her limit. She will not underestimate them next time. She views them as true warriors worthy of praise. And so does Patriot, which I really, really, really love his design, his VA, and I can't wait to get more of him. I need to know his story. Do not spoil that for me. I'm sure it'll come up in the anime, but his design is sick. It's incredible. One of my favorite characters already from the entire show. And on favorite characters, y'all know how much I love Tallulah, but Frost Nova right now is coming for #1 spot. Holy shit. Lullaby's performance. Ayahi Takagaki nailed it. Killed it. Outdid herself. The entire song gave me chills. It left me speechless. It was peak. It was pure cinema. It was by far the best episode of Arknights between Season 1 and Season 2. Will we surpass last time going forward? Or will that have been the peak, the crest? And is it all downhill or plateauing from here? With that said, I did add 6 notes since last time. So we are now at 57 pages of notes. Not very likely we'll hit 100, but I can at least see us hitting 75 or more. Plus, I did add extra information brought up in the comment sections. So let's go over that real quick. People wanted to clarify that Frostleaf is essentially a child soldier. She didn't have much of a normal childhood. She's from the Colombian Junior Army. 7 years of combat experience when joining Rhodes Island. She is a music lover, a fashionista, a loner. She learned to read at a very late age, a very recent age actually, when she first came to Rhodes Island, because It wasn't something she needed, but it definitely improved her quality of life. And yeah, former mercenary. The black ice slash very deep blue that Frost Nova used was an actual insta-kill attack in-game. So it's a very cool nod. It does make sense. The power would skyrocket when the hue changes so much from a very light blue to a deep blue slash black because of how condensed the ice is. But seeing it actually play out, it makes me really question if Amiya hadn't been there to block or Frostleaf to intercept, how do we deal with this? Because the fight will happen. Round 2 is on the way. It might not be this episode, but it's coming. So who's going to join in the fight to even the playing field? Even if we know a secret behind their techniques, that Originium was absorbing the heat of the surrounding, dropping the temperatures, and boosting their frost arts, it's not like they're still an easy threat to deal with. We can just weaken them. We can limit their powers, but they're still going to be a threat going forward. Meteorite grew up and survived in Kazdale. She occasionally teaches Sarkaz kids in Rhodes Island. She has a very profound love for the history, the culture of the Sarkaz, and she was influenced by a regular teacher, like a elementary school teacher or something like that, where it had such an impact on her that she wants to help preserve the history, the culture of the Sarkaz, and also just mentor the next generation. So when she has time in Rhodes Island, she'll be seen teaching fellow Sarkaz kids. So it's very nice. And then, of course, the infamous Frostleaf burrito. Very precious, must protect. Yeah, Frostleaf was made to promise to never self-sacrifice again. The road to Lungmen is open. Patriot, old-timer fossil, but he is the father of Frost Nova. Is it biological or is it adoptive? I can't wait to learn about that. Do not spoil that for me. Plus, again, I did make mention of it last time, but the difference of dynamic, the difference of treatment when it comes to their men between their reunion leaders is very interesting, very entertaining, and seeing how close and tight-knit the Yeti squad is, it's a breath of fresh air when it comes to the reunion. Divide and conquer Lungmen is essentially the goal of this two-front war operation, and so far it's been pretty successful. Amiya versus Frost Nova was easily the highlight from last time. It was downright incredible seeing Amiya's arts and seeing the lengths she would go to not abandon her allies, to protect all of them, and seeing how crazy strong an arts incantation boosted frost arts was from Frost Nova. Oh, the whole clash was just genuinely incredible. It was peak. It was peak Knights. I was also told that it was actually a anime exclusive edition. It's the first time it's sung in Japanese, because isn't Lullaby a Russian song? So it's very cool. I can't praise Aihei Takagaki enough for that whole performance. It was so well done. It gave me Symphogear vibes. And yes, it was also the best fight of Arknights thus far. I don't know how they're going to top it. It definitely feels like the production staff gave it their all with the last episode. So I hope that sentiment, that passion carries over into this episode and future episodes going forward all the way until the conclusion of Season 2. I do believe I've heard there is some pacing issues in coming episodes, but I don't know which ones exactly. So I'll be the judge for myself. Peril was last time's episode title, and it definitely describes the entire episode. Holy shit. I can't wait to see what is going to happen next. And that covers basically everything I want to go over in my notes. So we'll be starting on page 58 for when I take notes for episode 3 or episode 11 overall. But I'll call it episode 3. With that said, if you want the full version, it'll be over on my Patreon, which is linked down below amidst my social media platforms. Follow me on them. Help me grow my communities. Every bit helps, guys. Make sure you have a like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified when I upload next, because YouTube rarely does its job. Y'all know what I mean. If you don't, well, Trust me, it makes a difference. Well, in 3, 2, 1. That is quite the distance to traverse, though. Who are you? I've seen you in one of the trailers, but you look like a feline. Foth? Ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way. Chen's way too important right now to Lungman and in the opening song that she would be taken out so easily. But with that scope, I feel personally it's Faust. That is his mission that Mephisto was talking about. So his mission must be to assassinate Chen, or at least cripple her, and reduce the response time. Well, actually, take out the head of the LGD, because I can't exactly get to Chief Wei right now. No, we're focusing on Chen. The direct aftermath. Was she knocked unconscious? She has all of her limbs. Minus, I think, her overcoat. Swire. Ooh. So we got a Huffy. And wait. So that's a tiger tail, or what looks like it. So is she a feline? I would guess a feline. Because that's kind of a general race for all of them. Okay. Do like her design and her VA thus far. She definitely nails that, like, haughtiness, like the uppity, but I don't think she's necessarily to the point that it's going to be detrimental to the character, is how I would put it. She just has that aura where she'll definitely move to save others and protect others, but she's going to make you feel, or at least she'll shit talk while doing it and make you feel a bit bad. But she has the best of intentions, or she means well, but it might just be how she talks and relays her emotions and her thoughts or opinions. Because, I mean, she did make moves to protect Chen, so obviously she does care. It's just, she has to give her a little bit of shit because Chen did drop her guard. I am glad that Chen is okay, that she mostly got knocked unconscious, that she didn't lose a limb or anything. Mostly her clothes, but I think that's her overcoat on the chair. She was brought to Rhodes Island. Oh, talk that shit, Swire. Oh. Alright. I dig it. I dig Swire. Is she like a vice captain or a vice lieutenant? She wants to rise in power. Lady S? Oh, the facial expressions. You know, with Lungman on fire and under attack, it's kind of light-hearted right now. I'm guessing those were Lungman curses, much like how, I think it was in Season 1, Hoshiguma uttered a curse, essentially, a cuss word, in their own dialect, in their own language. But I'd appreciate if someone were to translate those for me. This dragon bitch has got a few screws loose. It hurts to laugh. Ow. Whew. So yeah, oil and water between these two. I do like their dynamic thus far. I'm surprised we didn't see her in Season 1. Either a lack of budget, or she was on a different assignment. I don't know. No fractures, no internal damage. So she just tanked it like a boss. And it was Swire's way of being concerned about her. I like Swire a lot, and I love she has the classic anime swirls on her hair. Yeah, you can see the damage on her back. I'd say based on how his voice is right now, he definitely doesn't sound like he's gonna survive when you arrive. So much for being a monster inspector. She does have a heart. She just puts up a tough front. And I really do appreciate that. Once you get past the initial wall she builds up, she's way more of a sweetheart than you give her credit for. I do like that we are focusing on what's going on in Lungman now, since everything sort of hit a head in the abandoned city. It was probably the only way to keep him in Longman. At least make him still feel useful. Ooh. Damn, that line hits hard. What couldn't you do? Ooh, that line. Trust me for once. I mean, it does harken back to their whole car conversation that she wanted to be informed. Angry Hoshigumo! Holy fuck! Do not piss off the giant Oni lady. Oh, he is Oni too. The horn coming out of his head. Did they take his eyes? They tortured him. Holy fuck. Oh my god, it hurts to see Hoshiguma like this. This big, strong lady, and you can just feel her fragility right now. God, the emotions are on point. I don't like his chances. Oh. Man. If y'all thought it was somber and depressing before, this is even more so. And here comes the rain, much like the tears soon enough. Alright, I'll admit, it got me. I'm tearing up. Even if I don't feel 100%, the emotions still hit hard. They don't let up. It hurts to see Hoshiguma like this. What is here? Am I right about Tallulah and Chen being sisters or related? Am I right? Am I right? Am I fucking right? No shot. It would explain how she reacted in episode 1. But that was a complete out of the ass theory. Chen's father is important enough that Tallulah would mark it as a important location, either that they intend to take or burn to the ground, but it is important enough that she made mention of it. So even if they aren't related, maybe Chen's father was related to her. Or at the very least, he did something that left a notable impact on Tallulah, either positively or negatively. Or perhaps there's a piece of technology here that would really benefit the reunion that even Chen didn't realize. Come to think of it, are Chen and Chief Wei related? Hold up. I mean, they both are Lung, but that's not much of a reason to say they are related. But what if he's like an uncle or something to her? Or a grandfather, because he is Wei the Cunning. He definitely seems like he's well up there in age. He has the age that comes with wisdom, and the wisdom that comes with age. Very interesting. I love the focus on Chen. It is so nice. And Hoshiguma. Is this Tallulah's way of getting like a solo audience with Chen? I mean, you could have climbed over the wall. Man like him is no father. So was he abusive? Or just did he not actually care about you? Splitting up seems like a bad idea. It seems like a trap. But I do like the decor. I got anxiety, y'all, but I do like this solo focus right now on Chen, and how she can also seem to be reliving her memories or childhood or however old she was while walking through here. I fucking called it. Sure, it could also be that they're not sisters, but that photo alone definitely implies a sisterly bond. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, who is this? It's me, 'cause I fucking called it. I fucking called it. I fucking called it. I fucking called it. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh my god. I can't believe I predicted this shit. I used critical thinking. Holy shit. Oh my god. Call it an overreaction. I do not give a shit what you call it. It is immensely gratifying, satisfying, and entertaining, no less, to have validation for a random one-off theory. It came out my ass. I talked out my butt. I spewed words. And somehow, it struck gold. What are the fucking odds? Holy fuck! I can't believe it. Don't exactly have a good prop or anything right now I could use to demonstrate the smugness I feel, the validation. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Alright. Enough gloating, enough showboating. So either they were sisters or childhood friends with a bond where if you saw them together, you would assume they were sisters. But they were obviously very close, and it hammers home how weird her reaction was in Season 2's premiere. Y'all, I am just speechless. Alright. Oh, and the line through to show the chasm, the rift that has formed between them. So that does explain a little bit of the history with Tallulah. But I need more! Even they recognize it and have their own issues with it. Yep. It was her kindness, her only way forward that she could see. And I appreciate that. Oh, I love it when they do close-up shots of the eyes. Yeah, it should probably tip you off that they're being taken out one by one. Is there a reunion leader here, though? Oh, that transition reveal is fucking fire. It is sick. Shield bash! Oh, damn, Hoshiguma! Oh my god. It makes sense to subdue him, but that was just cold-blooded. I appreciate it. I wonder if Swire is as rich as Jessica or less. I make no promises. Feels way too hopeful right now. Are we gonna actually have a proper victory? Oh, Broadcasting that resolve. I dig it. Fuck with it. Yeah. I mean, you haven't encountered any leaders, which is the real issue right now. Are they aiming for Chief Wei? I do like that we have normal conversations mixed in with all the action. That it's all not one note, that they're multifaceted people. It also hammers home that they are friends. It's a real nice touch, a real nice detail. Of course, Hoshiguma is a bike rider. It fits her vibe, her appeal. Ooh, siesta. Hold up. Do I have that as an actual country? Sounds familiar. City-state, non-mobile, stationary, known for nice beaches. Oh, it's where the Obsidian Festival is, once every summer. Hawaii, Caribbean-inspired. Okay. Yeah, I mean, a place like that would definitely clear up the gloominess. I'd love to see both of y'all in swimsuits. I am that down bad. A very scaredy cat type of reunion member. Is this a trap or... Well, I just answered my own question. Everything was going way too well. But if she can tank a artillery shell, she can definitely survive this. Will her limbs be alright? Not sure. Unless Hoshiguma took the... She just be sleeping. I love you, Hoshiguma. She been lifting? She been working out? She is jacked. I mean, you're friends, yeah. Stop putting up walls. I mean, if you're friends, you gotta have each other's back. No leaving each other behind. You gotta trust each other. She trusted in you, Hoshiguma, now you gotta trust in her. Ooh, that bruise on her arm, though. Returning those words right back at her. Damn. Let's fucking go. I love the growth. Oh my god. You gotta trust her. Oh. Oh, oh my god. Ding nay. Sure, I probably butchered it, but I like it a lot. I swear I thought the episode was going to end with that transition right there. I was going to be a bit pissy. My partner. Oh, be gentle with her. Oh my god. Oh god, this is like a ray of hope in all of this despair, this darkness. It is a highlight, a high point. Swire will pull her weight, is what she is saying, so she could actually go rectify that mistake if she really wants to. Oh, and that switch of tone. Genuine sincerity. And it's time to switch gears. We are a bit too happy, and that looks like a lion tail. Oh, no, okay, so it's Chen. It's her tail. I was a bit confused with that. My bad. Oh, and this is where we're gonna leave the episode off, recapturing the LGD building. Reunion leaders have to be in there, right? What can I say? I feel utterly satisfied, utterly proud of myself for what I spitballed, for what my theory was, and the payoff, the confirmation, the validation. I won't rehash much, because that reaction segment itself speaks volumes. But when everything clicked, when the reveal happened, it felt like I was on Cloud 9. 10 out of 10 moment from me. Holy shit. Even with my spitball theories and my critical thinking, I don't think, in all honesty, I should have been able to predict that. I might just be too smart for my own good. I'm sure I've been very, very wrong with a lot of theories I have brought up over the course of Arknights Season 1, Holy Nightlight ONA, various videos I've covered, and into Season 2. And it is part of the fun, theorizing, coming up with questions, coming up with answers yourself. And it's why I don't like being spoon-fed, or force-fed, rather, the answers to my own questions. I like to figure it out on my own. So I don't like being denied a theory unless it's actually impossible for the show to confirm or deny what I said. Sure, it might be off base, but it's part of the fun. Asking all of these thoughts, presenting my opinions, presenting my commentary, my reactions, and seeing the payoff or the realization I might have been way off base, and then correcting my theories, my thought process, my mindset going forward. It is part of why I enjoy doing reactions and providing commentary to Arknights, because there is a lot I can talk about. There's a lot I can cover. There's a lot I can theorize about, because the lore itself is that extensive. And it's always genuinely impressive when you consider how many layers there are when it comes to characters, to the world building itself, to the music and the meaning behind some of the music, to the power system, to even just how guns, cars, toasters, for fuck's sake, operate in this world. And how it does feel truly lived in. Not every story can nail the feeling that it is a world, it is a lived-in place. But Arknights handles that really well. It gives off the vibe that these people live here, that it is an actual inhabited place, that it has a history, a culture, multiple cultures no less, multiple nations, multiple races, where everything has developed in a way that seems consistent with the world they're building, with the resources at hand. Originium, for instance, and how it affects all of their appliances, how it affects their body, how it affects their illnesses, how it affects their weather. It all just works together like a well-oiled machine, like a puzzle that has all of its pieces in place. You're adding those pieces yourself as you learn more, and it doesn't feel like it's impossible to find a spot for the piece you've been given with every new installment, every new piece of lore. Sure, some of them may not be placed right away, but over time, you find other pieces that connect, and you start to complete a bigger picture. And out of a lot of anime that I've seen, 600, 650, or 700, not sure of the final count right now, Arknights might just be one of the most satisfying to build that bigger picture. It's why I'm willing to write 57 pages of notes. It's why I'm willing to engage so respectfully with its story, its characters, its music, its lore. Arknights deserves to be called special. Obviously, it's not the best anime I've ever seen, but it might just be one of the best video game adaptations I've ever seen. Mobile game adaptation, no less. I've seen quite a few where they're advertisements for the game and they never get another season. Or they make the anime first and then promote the mobile game afterwards when it releases. Tacto P, for instance. Or it's not even a full promotion of the mobile game. The anime will happen, but then they don't capture any of the beats. They adapt their own stories. They make it completely anime original, not even adapting any of the story. And that does get under my skin. Sometimes those stories do turn out well. But this anime, this series itself, is a beast in of itself. It's very hard to classify it in terms of a lot of those others I've talked about, because the passion, the efforts, the story, the lore, the overall feel, as I mentioned about how the world is actually lived in, how characters feel like actual humans, actual people, not just two-dimensional. No, they are multifaceted. Not one-dimensional, not two-dimensional. They are three-dimensional. No, not in terms of actual design, unless they're animated in CGI, but that's neither here nor there. It feels like you're talking or witnessing a true human being. Not everyone is consistent with their personalities. Not everyone is one note. Some people act a certain way, but feel a different way. Swire is a good example of that in animated form. She's a bit rough around the edges. She's a bit gruff. She's a bit mean, very tsundere-esque. But you can also tell with her actions, with the damage on her clothes, and with her actual sincerity and kindness for Chen, she does care about people. She cares about Chen. Their relationship is a bit like a rivalry. It's throwing punches, throwing digs at each other, but not actually trying to hurt each other. You're mostly talking shit, which is what a lot of friends do. I talk shit with a lot of my friends. I'll insult them, they'll insult me. It's rolling with the punches. And it is a very, very, very nice dynamic to add into the story. I wonder what Swire was doing in Season 1. It could have been budget that she didn't get included, or she was off on a different mission. I don't even know her official title, her official position. So if anyone wants to clarify, unless that is a spoiler, then don't, please and thank you. But it's also a nice contrast to how Chen is with Hoshiguma. Hoshiguma and Chen are friends, but there is this wall between them. And this episode encapsulates the gradual tearing down of walls between her, Chen, Hoshiguma, and Swire, and Chen's continued growth, her continued development as a character, as a person, as a human being, where she's also coming to terms more with her feelings, her own opinions, where she's a little less about the establishment and more about herself, where she can actually be selfish to an extent, where it's not just about the position. No, even she realizes it was a mistake leaving Rhodes Island behind in the nomadic city, in the abandoned city. Even if Longman is in danger, life is precious. She shouldn't have turned their backs like that. They shouldn't have ditched them. They should have met up, rendezvoused, taken care of that situation, and then come back in full force to take on Lungman. And it is a regret for her. So I really, really do love when you compare how Chen was in her introduction in Season 1 to now, how different the characters feel, but not to an unrealistic extent. It is a gradual growth. She has been challenged time and again, time and again, time and again. She's been stood up to. She's had sense knocked into her. And she's not closing herself off. She's not blocking out their words. She's not putting her hands over her ears and ignoring their advice, ignoring their suggestions, ignoring their statements. She is willing to grow, and that is what we are starting to see the result of. Her out loud statement, her confirmation even to herself, where she agrees it was a mistake to leave Rhodes Island behind. It was a genuinely nice moment. And on speaking of moments, the fact we actually got a slower episode, because that's what this was, when you compare it to the pacing from episode 1 and episode 2, it feels much more relaxed, much more laid back, much more slow paced. But personally, I don't have an issue with that. It feels like, as opposed to episode 1 and episode 2, where I didn't have a chance to breathe, or at least that is the energy, that is the vibe, with everything that had been going down, this one allowed us to breathe. It allowed us to process what just happened while adding on new information. And it was actually very much appreciated. I didn't know if I could take another episode 2 situation right off the bat. I'm sure big fights are coming. I'm sure big revelations are coming. I'm sure cliffhangers, despair, depression, tears, and so much more is on the horizon. But this was a nice calm before the storm with some confirmations, a moment of personal satisfaction from me over the validation of a theory, the somber mood of Fall's death, and the reveal of the relationship between him and Hoshiguma, and how Hoshiguma wanted to be trusted by Chen, and how Chen has to come to terms with that she needs to be willing to trust other people, that she can't take it all on herself. She can't just blindly run ahead on her path. She has to rely on others while also staying true to herself, acknowledging her own thoughts and opinions, not being a blind follower, a simple cog in the machine that is Lungman and the LGD. I do appreciate the bits of kindness we also see with Chen, allowing Fall to stay on, using her authority to grant him and guarantee citizenship even though he is infected, as long as he remained an informant. A very dangerous job, but it also allowed him to stay useful and prevent Hoshiguma from leaving Lungman. It was his request, his plea to her, and she granted it and worked with him in that regard. But even Chen and Hoshiguma realize how bad Lungman treats the infected, and I'm sure deep down they want to see some change. So I gotta wonder, will they actually petition or demand change from Chief Wei, who is essentially the leader of the city, to start treating them better? Or is that something they need to actually take up to Yan? Because Yan is the nation. This is one of the cities in the nation. But Lungman does have a lot of sway. It is an economic powerhouse. It's part of why they want to take it down. The reunions, who I'm speaking about, obviously. But I figured I'd clarify in case anyone might get that misconstrued. Also, the fact we have a final note where we're going to be charging into the LGD building, is that where Chief Wei is? Are they after Chief Wei? What's going on with that? How many reunion leaders are in there? Where is Faust? We've yet to actually see Faust. Was that Faust in the beginning, or was that just a random reunion member flinging an artillery shell? Which, by the way, again, seeing Ched in different outfits, very nice. Even if it is just her overshirt, her overcoat taken off, and her white shirt, I do like it. I like it when she shows more exposure. Very nice. Very nice. But I also just like it when they change character models and have to animate new clothings on them. It's a bit of extra effort from the production staff, and it's always appreciated. But I can't believe she tanked that artillery shell. She must have some strong defenses naturally, either from her arts or constitution, or perhaps that shell was just weak. It wasn't actually a full charge shot. It would make sense if it was actually a regular reunion member and not Faust, because Faust is like a sniper. Very interesting. I bet some anime onlys might have misconstrued that it was Skull Shatter because of the way it kind of fired off, but no, unfortunately, I don't think we can bring back the dead, and I don't think there's a third person to assume the mantle of Skull Shatter. Misha's dead, Alex is dead, they're buried, or at least their bodies are taken into custody. It is nice, as I said, also just focusing on Lungman, what's going down in the city, what's going on with Chen, Hoshiguma, introducing Swire. I appreciate that a whole lot. It's a nice change of pace. It lets this situation breathe. It lets it develop further. It gets us more emotionally invested in what's going to happen next with them. And it's also just nice seeing more and more of Lungman, especially the richer neighborhoods. Because last time it was primarily the slums and one or two skyscrapers. So I just like that we're getting a better feel for the city, the economical difference between the classes and the areas. It was also just nice seeing Chen walk her house and presumably reliving memories of her childhood, her past, in silence, as she had to come to terms with it, and that whole reveal, obviously. Wonder what that sword is. Was it just a ceremonial sword, or does it have more significance than that? Is Chen's father alive? I don't think we got a actual confirmation on his status. I mean, the house did kind of look live-in, so maybe he's at the LGD building. And I do wonder if he was abusive, or just very neglectful, or something else happened because of the way Chen responded to, like, he's no father of mine. Maybe he's what drove Tallulah away. Or maybe he is someone who spearheads a lot of, like, infected mistreatment. I wonder what Chen was doing when she was studying abroad in Victoria. Where'd she go? There was a lot of cool little details here and there. So, overall, it was a very good episode. I say this, but do not misconstrue it. Do not misinterpret it. Do not take it out of context. Do not misunderstand. It is the weakest episode of Season 2 thus far. But does that mean it's bad? No. Absolutely not. If it was shit, I would say it was shit. I don't like to sugarcoat. I don't like to lie. I don't like to fake my reactions, fake my thoughts, fake my opinions. I may be a degenerate. I may be someone who wears their heart on their sleeves and can cry, which I did tear up from Fall's death and the emotional moments with Hoshiguma, which also seeing her angry and just generally emotional was very nice. I like spending more time with some characters because they haven't gotten a whole lot of spotlight recently. So it was appreciated, but that's neither here nor there. I don't like being fake. I don't like hiding my true self. I prefer to be authentic with these reactions, with these thoughts. So, even though it is the weakest, but on account, it feels like a build-up, a slow-paced, just showing us what's happening on the other side of this operation. It will pop off again. I don't doubt that. There is still 5 episodes left to go, which is crazy in of itself. It feels like a lot's happened, but not a lot has also happened. It's a nice balance that Yoastar and the production staff have managed to strike with this anime thus far, with this arc. And I ain't ready for more. I'll admit. I want more, but I ain't ready. The hype is real, the emotions are real. But the heart might give out on me. The anxiety was through the fucking roof, because it definitely felt like it was way too easy of a time this episode. Definite tone shift from how it went last time, and I'm sure there will be people who have issues with that. But if you don't take these breaks, these slowdown periods, you might emotionally or physically or mentally exhaust your audience. This allows us, as I said, to recuperate, to compose ourselves, to process what happened, while also being able to push the story forward in their own ways, push the characters forward, continue their growth, continue their stories. So, it was still good. I'll give it that. I do prefer it over some of the episodes in Season 1, I'll admit. It's also just very, very satisfying to see Chen grow so much, to see the stark difference of personalities, of air, of atmosphere, the vibe around them, and their interactions. Oh, and I just, again, I love the fucking cinematography and the artwork animation. It's all so fucking good, y'all. Yoastar and the production staff are cooking. Oh my god. And I love the lighting too, especially towards the end, just before we switch into the operation mode, where she's talking about the cafe with Swire. Oh my god, I love, like, the sunset lighting. But it's nighttime. So, were we playing catching up, or is this actually... No, actually wouldn't make sense. Never mind that comment. It's not catch up. Because I was gonna say, is this what they were doing while they were still in the abandoned city, like, just immediately after that? No, it makes sense. It's the next night. Admittedly, I was a bit confused, but I've managed to clarify that. Whew, that could have been bad. Comments would have torn me apart. I think I'm gonna head over to my anime list real quick and check out who voices Swire. So I'll see you soon. Otherwise, with my anime list out of the way now, not much else I can actually talk about. I believe I've mentioned everything I've deemed important or worthy. I might have skipped over something. It does happen. If so, do forgive me. If you want to clarify down below without spoiling, I would appreciate it. I am just still blown away by the quality at work right here. It is not the best animated. It is not the best anime out there. It will very likely never be the best anime in the scene, in the park. But it already holds such a special place in my heart, because you can feel the passion from the production staff. You can feel the efforts put into producing this anime, into adapting the story. It might also just be a hallmark for how well written the story itself is from the mobile game. But I want to shine some appreciation on the production staff and offer my gratitude, my sincere thanks, because it is no small feat creating an anime, much less adapting an existing story into an animated format with voices, sound design, whole layouts for cities, for battles that you have to actually think about that wasn't exactly the most obvious in video games or in other mediums that were adapted. It's a lot of work. And I can't stress how much I appreciate the efforts of the production staff, because my impression as an anime only, with these past 11 episodes, Holy Nightlight, and all of the videos I've seen, is the passion is there. It has my interest, it has my attention, and it's kept me very, very entertained. I don't believe there's actually been a true dull moment where I thought it was a waste of my time, or where I was bored, or where it just felt like it was dragging. Season 1 is slow, and I will give him that. I will give the naysayers that critique. But it's also a prologue. You're getting into the story, into the characters. And I can't fathom, personally, not continuing this show, not enjoying yourself with this. Sure, it does feel like sometimes you are missing a piece of the puzzle. You're missing context because you don't play the game, because you're anime only. But it does truly feel like it was made with love. It was made with the intention to be consumable by anime onlys and longtime game players. It tries its best to incorporate content in a way that can satisfy both. It'll never swing fully in one direction. We have to take some compromises, and I'm willing to do so. It sucks, because in an ideal world, it would be a perfect anime. There would be no compromises. It would have way more episodes. It would have even more going for it. And the animation would be spectacular. But I'm willing to take these compromises because I love the story, because I love the characters, because I love what's built, what's presented and displayed with each passing episode. The overall vibe, the overall story, the overall atmosphere alone. It's a genuinely fun ride. So, enough rambling. What did y'all think of my reaction, my commentary, the episode itself? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. When you're done leaving a comment, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell to get notified when I upload next. Y'all know that drill. If you want the full version, it'll be over on my Patreon. Link down below. Mix my social media platforms. Follow me on them. Help me grow my community. Every bit helps. And I do apologize, I couldn't react while I was 100% healthy, feeling normal. But I feel my energy wasn't all that different. I managed to feel the emotions. I didn't have a foggy mind or anything like that. I feel I was able to bring justice to this video and not produce subpar content. Hopefully, I'll start feeling better. It might be a cold, it might just be the changing of the seasons, changing of the weather, or it's just something else entirely. Who knows? I'm AlduicS. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in episode 4? Episode 12 of Arknights Season 2, Perish in Frost, Touin Kiro, Fuyukomori, Kaerimichi. I called it, bitches!